What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my co-main event breakdown and prediction for UFC 304. It is the interim heavyweight championship on the line here. A rematch, Tom Aspinall going against Curtis Blaydes. And yeah, we're going to get to see this fight play out a little bit more than it did in their first fight. In the first fight, Tom Aspinall got hurt in the first 15 seconds. So yeah, this is personally my main event. I'm really looking forward to this fight. Obviously, I'm looking forward to Leon Edwards, Bilal Muhammad as well. But this is the fight I've had circled for a while. I want to see this rematch. I want to see it play out because we didn't get to see it play out in their first time. So yeah, looking forward to breaking it down. As always, going to be breaking down the fight, giving my prediction, the round, the method, and then also talking about this fight from a betting perspective. We have all the props out nice and early, so that should be interesting. And yeah, it's a very interesting, intriguing co-main event here. So before we get into it and break it all down, if you guys could do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, be on the lookout for the full card breakdown and prediction video for UFC 304. We have 14 fights this Saturday. I have researched and taped all 14 fights. Now just got to record, so the full card breakdown and prediction video will be out nice and early on a Monday for you guys. And then I'll also do a main event prediction video, talking some betting as well for the Leon Edwards, Bilal Muhammad fight. Might put that out either Monday or Tuesday as well. So, but I wanted to get this one out first because this is probably my favorite fight on the entire card. I'm a big fan of both Curtis Blaydes and Tom Aspinall. So yeah, guys, let's get into it. See if we can find some spots on this heavyweight co-main event. We got Tom Aspinall going against Curtis Blaydes. We will start with Aspinall, who is the younger fighter. He's 31 years old, 6'5" with a 78-inch reach. Aspinall was 14-3 and 4-1 in his last 5 fights. That one loss coming to Curtis Blaydes. And as far as Curtis Blaydes, he's 33 years old, 6'4" with an 80-inch reach, 18-4 and 4-1 in his last 5 fights. That one loss coming to Sergey Pavlovich. So we take a look at the odds here, and I think the odds are very, very, very interesting for this fight. We'll kind of touch on why. So Tom Aspinall opened up minus 210. He's currently minus 350. He got down as low as like minus 400 something. So yeah, massive favorite here in Tom Aspinall. As far as Curtis Blaydes, opened up plus 180. He is currently a plus 285 underdog. On some books, he's like greater than plus 300. So Aspinall was one of the bigger favorites on the entire card. And one thing I find very interesting about those odds is we take a look at their first fight, which was back in July of 2022. And Tom Aspinall closed around minus 135. And Curtis Blaydes closed around like plus 115, plus 120. So, yeah, what has really changed since then to make the odds this wide in favor of Tom Aspinall? And the answer to that is not a ton, honestly. Tom Aspinall, since that Curtis Blaydes injury, he obviously had to take about a year off, which made sense. The injury looked rough, looked terrible, but he came back and knocked out Marcin Prachnio in about the first 60 seconds, minute 13. And then he goes out there and knocks out Sergey Pavlovich in about 60 seconds, a minute and 9 seconds. So, yeah, since then, we've seen about 2 minutes of fight time with Aspinall when he's knocking out Marcin Tybur and Sergey Pavlovich, who, don't get me wrong, those are two very solid wins. Very solid wins there in Tybur and Pavlovich. And as far as Blaydes, since that Aspinall TKO injury win, he is 1-1 in his last 2 fights, where he got knocked out in the first round by Sergey Pavlovich, and then he knocked out Jailton Almeida in an upset win early in the second round there. So just nothing in these last 2 years or so has really, like I said, has really changed all that ton. I mean, Blaydes got knocked out, but he's been knocked out before. So I think these odds are certainly wide for sure. And there's a lot of cases to be made for Blaydes. Like, a lot of people I see are taking the big, giant dog shot on Blaydes, and it makes some sense because if this fight does get extended, like if this fight reaches a round and a half, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, etc., it's going to heavily favor Curtis Blaydes, you got to imagine. Tom Aspinall has not won a fight yet that has went over 1.5 rounds. But the problem I have with Blaydes, and I got to give a prediction here, and the problem I have with Blaydes is he's one of those guys that has fallen in love with his hands, which I've always thought Curtis Blaydes is a really good striker. I think he's probably the most underrated striker, honestly, in the heavyweight division. Curtis Blaydes has very, very good striking in the heavyweight division. It's just, he can win some minutes against these guys for sure. It's just the chin, man. And these heavyweights hit hard. We saw it in the Derek Lewis fight. Blaydes was making Lewis look silly on the feet, outlanded him 28-7, but it was that one shot from Derek Lewis. In the Pavlovich fight, got caught and knocked out as well. He's been knocked out against Francis Ngannou a couple times also. So yeah, it's the chin of Francis Ngannou here. And you take a look at Blaydes, like in this matchup. In this matchup here, I would love to see Blaydes go out there and wrestle. You know, Tom's a black belt in BJJ, but we haven't seen Aspinall on his back in a very, very long time. And Curtis Blaydes is one of the best wrestlers in the entire division. But my concern is Blaydes is going to go out there and try to strike with Aspinall. If he does that, I think he can maybe hang, maybe be competitive. But Aspinall, in my opinion, is the better striker. This guy, Aspinall, has some of the best striking in like heavyweight history. I mean, this guy's striking is incredible, extremely fast hands, and he has dynamite in his hands. If he touches you, it looks like some of these shots are barely landing. You know, guys are going down. So yeah, Aspinall, you got to favor him in the striking, and I would like to see Blaydes kind of wrestle here, but the problem is Blaydes has 3 takedowns in his last 6 fights. Like, that's a concern. That's an absolute concern. He had 0 takedowns landed against Derek Lewis, which still to this day doesn't make a ton of sense to me. He didn't land a takedown against Dawkins, but knocked him out. Didn't land a takedown against Charlton, which makes sense. Didn't land a takedown against Sergey Pavlovich, which that doesn't make a ton of sense to me. So, like, Blaydes just kind of fell in love with his hands, and if he does that here, he's probably getting knocked out. Like, I don't think he's going to go out there and have a ton of success with Aspinall on the, like, I don't think he's going to knock out Aspinall on the feet. I don't think he's going to, you know, win a 25-minute decision via strike. I think Blaydes has to wrestle here, and you would think he would know that, but he just fell in love with his striking a little bit too much. So, man, Blaydes has some paths here for sure. If Blaydes can take this fight down to the ground and just burn off some clock, you know, win some minutes, extend this fight, he can certainly win this fight, outlast Aspinall, and maybe even finish him late. But how I kind of see the fight playing out is Blaydes is going to go out there and he's going to strike with Aspinall, and I think that's going to end very poorly for him. So for me, as far as a pick goes, I'm going to go Aspinall to win this fight by first-round knockout. I cannot rely on Blaydes to go out there and fight smart. He's went out there and not fought smart just a million times. So I think Aspinall is going to knock him out in the first round, but I can't wrap my head around this price tag of Tom Aspinall at -350. Like, if I'm betting Tom Aspinall, I'm looking at Aspinall by, like, first-round knockout. I think that is the most likely scenario in this fight. Aspinall by first-round KO is +210. I think that's how I'd kind of play Aspinall. I know some books do like the Aspinall and like the under 1.5 parlayed together. Maybe that can get close to even money. I don't mind that, because I think if Aspinall is winning this fight, it's within the first 7.5 minutes. If it goes over 7.5 minutes, I think it's going to be Blaydes that wins the fight. And then I was looking at some of these Blaydes props here, and like some of these Blaydes late props are just astronomical numbers, man. I mean, Blaydes round 3 plus 4,300, Blaydes round 4 plus 5,500, Blaydes round 5 plus 5,500. Like, these are spots where if this fight does reach the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round, like, those are going to be extremely, extremely live. I don't see this fight going the distance. Neither do the odds makers. The fight doesn't go, is like -1150 on some books, -1,000 on some books. I think the under 1.5 is solid, but it's been hit. The under 1.5 was like -115, -125. It's like now -164. So I'm not sure how I'm going to play this fight yet, but I think Aspinall, KO1, Aspinall, and the under 1.5, the same game parlay. I think Aspinall, the round 1, round 2 prop. I think those are all good ways to play Aspinall. And as far as Blaydes, I think that these Blaydes round props, like these late round props, could be very interesting, because if this fight gets extended, you have to favor Curtis Blaydes here. So official pick is going to be Tom Aspinall to win this fight and win it by first-round knockout. I think that's the most likely scenario in this fight, but I think this fight can play out a couple different ways for sure. All comes down to Blaydes and the fight IQ, which he hasn't shown the best fight IQ, so we'll see. Let me know what you guys are liking down in the comments. No bets on this fight yet, but there are some spots that I have circled for this one. I think some of these props are definitely sticking out, so going to add something maybe in the very near future here for this one. But yeah, let me know who you guys like. You guys taking the big dog shot on Blaydes? You guys think Aspinall probably rolls in the first round as well, like I kind of do? Let me know. Like the video, please subscribe to the channel as well. And once again, be on the lookout for the full card breakdown and prediction video for UFC 304. going to record that pretty shortly here. Pretty much looked into all the. I want to look into the Loughran fight, the Loughran Hadley fight a little bit more, and then after that should be able to get to the video there. So yeah, guys, best of luck. Should be a fun fight, and should be a fun co-main event, and we'll talk to you soon. See you later.